This is the examination-based context session for English and Academic Communication Skills 12 for 2019. I'm your tutor, Rita Davids. Dear students, the examinations for 2019, April, August and November, had to be compiled as requested by the IOL officers using the study guides of the following courses. DPPE, Diploma in Pre-Primary Education. DJPE, Diploma in Junior Primary Education. BESP, Bachelor's of Education, Senior Primary. DES, Diploma in Secondary Education. Examination. The following is important information for your upcoming examination. The format. The duration of the examination will be 2.5 hours and the scripts consist out of 120 marks each. It is important that you answer all questions with subsections. Study material. The study guide for the DPPE Eacs12 on the Kindle or on the hard copy. The study guide for BESP Eacs12 on the Kindle or hard copy. The study guide for DES Eacs12 on the Kindle or hard copy. English Handbook and Study Guide by B. Lutron for the DPPE, BESP and DES students. If you do not have access to this handbook, please contact the IOL office for assistance. The new combined IOL study guide for DJPE Eacs12, BESP Eacs12, DSE Eacs12 on the Kindle or hard copy. The content of the DPPE, BESP and DES study guides are exactly the same and references will therefore be the same. DPPE, BESP and DES students will also be referred to the Lutron book that has to be used as indicated in the study guides. The DJPE students only have to use the new IOL guide. References will be made from this guide. Please make use of old question papers and feedbacks of previous assignments and examinations. There you will find questions and answers that could be of good use. Understanding the questions. Every part of information can be assessed in a number of different ways. The examination papers are set up in 3 levels. Each question usually starts with a verb. Please pay special attention to the verbs used. These will guide you to what action you are expected to perform. Failing to perform the correct action will result in low marks or the loss of valuable marks. The following are the verbs mainly used. For level 1, 70%. For knowledge, you must use define, which means give the precise brief meaning of something. Indicate what features are included and excluded. Describe means to provide detailed features of an issue or stages of a process in a logical sequence, using numbers and headings and proper sentences. Identify, there you have to recognize and name or list features. List and state is to present a list of names, facts, objects, etc. in a certain order. Comprehension. The first one is explain. There you must describe something and indicate relationships between things, making clear the why, the reasons, and how, the examples of features. Summarize is to give a brief account of the essence of a matter through the main ideas, no details or examples, focusing on connections and meaning. Clarify is to describe something to clear up the meaning or significance. Level 2, which is 20%, there you get application. Demonstration is to perform the necessary operations. Show by example. Propose means to suggest a plan or an idea. Then you come to analysis. Analyze is when you examine information in detail to discover the main ideas or components or patterns or relationships. Show why they are important and how components are related and what theories they reflect. Discuss is when you give a clear description and then argue about features by pointing out positive and negative features, arriving at a conclusion. Level 3, which is 10%, there you get evaluation. To evaluate means to determine the value or worth or quality or success of something according to certain criteria. Compare is when you indicate similarities or resemblances and differences of phenomena regarding particular criteria. Draw a conclusion about the similarities and differences, emphasizing the similarities. Very often a table format is used to compare phenomena. A description of one phenomenon after the other is not a comparison. Critical thinking. To argue is to give valid reasons or ideas, facts, and sources. Discuss critically is where students have to give a reasoned judgment after carefully weighing the facts, or the students have to provide positive and negative points and draw a conclusion. Distinguish is to describe two phenomena or things according to relevant criteria. Point out clearly the differences between the two sets. Differentiate is to show how things are different or opposite regarding particular criteria. Look only for differences, not for similarities too, as in the case for compare. Important. All answers consist of facts that you will have to study from your study guide, as well as the Lutheran Handbook for the GPPE, BESP, and DES students. For the language structured questions, you must understand the spoken and written language as well. Examination cover page. Under student details, the following information must be filled in: your student number, surname, first name, ID number, and examination center. Instructions. Read the general instructions and examination instructions carefully and ensure that you know what is required before you start. You are not permitted to take any form of notes into the examination room. Plan your time wisely and write as quickly and neatly as you can. Make sure that you watch the time to ensure that you finish in time. If time permits, read through your answers to pick up possible mistakes. Then you must also make sure that you have answered all questions. Very important. Some students write everything in capital letters. Only use capital letters as indicated in the study guide on page 185, that is 2.1.2, and in the Lutheran book, page 10. This is very important when you write letters, essays, grammatical sentences, etc. I must be able to see whether you know how to use capital letters. More important, the paper is set up so that you write on the paper itself. The quantity of lines given will also help you to determine the length of your answer. Also look at the marks allocated to each question to determine how many facts to write to obtain the correct marks. Scripts for 2019. References are done according to the Kindle, as all the students have the Kindle. Page references are also done in brackets according to the actual study guide or hard copy. Please note, only one presentation will be recorded for the exam scripts of April, August, and November. There will not be a presentation for each exam. These references are for all DJPE, DPPE, BESP, and DES students. See which refers to your own study material. For the April, August, and November examinations, concentrate on the following. References are not done in any particular order. The following are what you might get in any of the 3 exam scripts. Passages. You will be given a passage in each examination script. The following is what you will have to do concerning the passages. You must read the given passage and then compile or set up questions using any of the W or H words. These are how, which, what, why, where, when, and who. These questions must be about the content of the given passage. I must be able to find answers to your questions in the passage itself. Or you must read a certain passage very carefully and then answer the questions given in full sentences. Or you will get certain words that have been used in the given passage. You must then discuss the meaning of each word. Verbs or tenses. You will have to write the correct form of the verb in a sentence. Study simple present tense and simple past tense so that you know which is which. You will be given auxiliary verbs to finish given sentences. Study this for each exam. In the DJP study guide, it is 1.1.1 and 1.4. The DPPE Best and Desk students must find this in the Lutheran book on page 28. Nouns. The gerund. The DPPE Best and Desk students will see this in the Lutheran book on page 17 and 30. A gerund is a noun formed from a verb describing an action, state or process. In English, it is formed from the verbs ing form. Examples, smoking in no smoking. More examples are running, reading, writing, playing, etc. You will have to rewrite words in sentences to form a gerund. Pronouns. It takes the place of a noun. For example, me, him, her, them, etc. Find this in the DJP study guide under 1.1.2.2. The DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book, page 19. Capitalization. Study the rules of capitalization. You will have to rewrite sentences using the correct capitalization. Study this for each exam. In the DJPE study guide 2.1.2 and the DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book, page 10. Prefixes. Prefixes may create new words or antonyms. Prefixes come before the root of the word. Engage will become disengage. You will have to complete words using prefixes. Study this for each exam. In the DJPE study guide 1.2 and for the DPPE Best and Desk students in the Lutheran book, page 46. Suffixes. Suffixes are word endings. They modify the words to which they are connected and often change the parts of speech of these words. Suffixes come from the root of the word. For example, comes after the root of the word. Example, free will become freedom. You will have to complete words using suffixes. Study this for each exam in the DJP study guide 1.2 and in the Lutheran book, page 47. Figurative languages. You will be given examples of certain types of figurative languages. Then you will have to choose which type suits the group of sentences it describes. See the different types in the DJPE study guide 1.5.1.1 and in the Lutheran book, page 40. Plurals. You will be asked to identify words that do not have plurals. Words that keep the same form, for example, water, sheep, sand, buck, etc. Find this in the DJPE study guide under uncountable nouns 1.1.2.2 and in the Lutheran book on page 22. Preposition. Prepositions are the small words that usually relate two words or phrases to one another. For example, on, after, from, with, in, etc. You will have to choose or fill in a suitable preposition. Study this for each exam in the Lutheran book on page 36. Active and passive voice. You will be asked to change sentences from the active or the passive voice to the passive or the active voice. In the active voice, the subject of the sentence does the action. In the passive voice, the object becomes the subject and is having the action done to it. For example, the boy, which is the subject, kicks the ball, which is the object, over the wall. This sentence is in the active voice. Change it, then it becomes the ball which is the object, is kicked over the wall by the boy, the subject. Now it is in the passive voice. See this in the DJP Study Guide 1.7.1 and 1.7.2 and in the Lutheran book on page 32. Direct and indirect speech. When you change sentences from the direct to the indirect speech, you must leave out the question mark and inverted commas. Pronouns change. For example, my family changes to her or his family. Tenses change. For example, Mary said, I am feeling good today. Mary said that she was feeling good that day. You will have to change sentence either to the direct or indirect speech. Find this in the DJPE Study Guide 1.6 and in the Lutheran book, page 38. Spelling or language mistakes. You are going to get sentences where deliberate mistakes are made. You must then correct the spelling. Study common language errors. You must be able to correct the mistake and say why it is wrong. In the DJPE Study Guide, you will find it under 2.1.4. You must also explain why Namibians experience problems with the use of the English language. Find this in the DPPE, DSE and Best Study Guides on page 28. Punctuation. You must be able to explain the main function of certain punctuation marks. In the DJPE Study Guide under Types of Punctuation 2.4.1 and in the Lutheran book on page 10. Modality. You must be able to describe the term modality in the DJPE Study Guide 1.8.1 and in the DPPE Best Study Guides 4.1.8.1. Conditional language. You must be able to outline conditional language. In the DJPE Study Guide 1.8.2 and in the DPPE Best Study Guides 4.1.8.2. Paragraphs. A good paragraph is made up of a topic sentence, supporting sentence, and a concluding sentence. Study each part. In the DJPE Study Guide 2.2 in the Lutheran book, page 71. You will also be asked to write a short paragraph on a given topic in one of the examinations. Official or business, personal or friendly letters. Study the features of a formal and an informal letter. If you answer this question, please do not only list the features of each kind of letter unless specifically asked to do so. Read the instruction very carefully to see how this question must be answered. In the DJPE Study Guide 2.3.2 and in the Lutheran book, page 77 and 78. Covering letters. You will be asked to write a covering letter for a teaching post in one of the examinations. Get this in the DJPE Study Guide 2.3.3. The curriculum vitae or CV. Study the 9 key areas of expertise which are required for a teacher and should be evidenced by the curriculum vitae or resume in your DJPE Study Guide 2.3.5. Interdepartmental memorandums. You will have to give an explanation of a memo heading. Study this in the DJPE Study Guide 2.9 and in the DPPE Basement Desk Study Guide 4.3. Electronic communication. Study emails and SMSs. The features of these two electronic communication systems will be given to you and then a question will be asked about it. Read the instructions very carefully to give the correct answer. In the DJPE Study Guide 2.10 and in the Lutheran book, page 86. Progress reports. Study the purpose of progress reports in the DJPE Study Guide 2.11.2 and in the DPPE Basement Desk Study Guides 4.5.2. The editing process. Study how you will edit your own work for correctness. Find this in the DJPE Study Guide 2.12.1 and in the Lutheran book, page 74. Academic literacy. First of all, you must be able to define academic literacy. And you must study this in the DJPE Study Guide 3.1.1 and in the DPPE Basement Test Study Guides 4.7. Then you must be able to discuss descriptive writing, narrative writing, expository writing, and persuasive writing. You must also be able to compare descriptive writing to narrative writing, to persuasive writing, to expository writing. You must also describe the purpose of descriptive writing, narrative writing, persuasive writing, and expository writing. You will find this in the DJPE Study Guide 3.2.1 and in the Lutheran book under Essay Writing, page 75 and 76. Study this for each exam. In each exam, there will be a different question concerning the 4 purposes of academic literacy or essay writing. You will also be asked to write a short report on a given topic in one of the examinations. Academic writing genres. You must be able to name some of the different types of documents that are written in the academic style or academic writing genres. Find this in the DJPE Study Guide 3.3 and in the DPPE Test and Best Study Guides under 4.7. Book review. Study what to look for when you want to write a good book review in the DJPE Study Guide 3.4.5.5 and in the Lutheran book, page 82. Summarizing. You must be able to explain how a summary can be produced. Find this in the DJPE Study Guide 3.6.1 or in the Lutheran book on page 83. Mind maps. You will have to explain what a mind map is in the DJPE Study Guide 3.7.1 and in the Lutheran book, page 71. Plagiarism. You have to know what plagiarism is, what is considered as plagiarism, and the consequences when committing plagiarism. Study plagiarism for each exam. In your DJPE Study Guide, in front of the book, page X11, and in the DPPE and Desmond Best Study Guides on page 8, and also in the DJPE Study Guide 4.1.1 and in the DPPE Des and Best Study Guides on page 8. The APA format. First of all, study how you will compile your APA reference page and also how to compile a list of references. Study this for each exam. In the DJPE Study Guide 4.2.2.1 and in the DPPE Basement Test Study Guide 4.8. Exam preparations and writing tips, your exam timetable. Make sure you know what rooms your exams will be in and what time they start. Consult the Iol officers for these details and not the subject tutor. During the examinations, write your details as requested. Read the examination paper a couple of times to make sure you understand the instructions and questions. Make sure you answer all questions. Do not dive into writing without first reading the entire paper. Calculate how much time you will give to each question and stick to it. Emergency. If you happen to fall ill during the exam session, immediately notify the invigilator for the correct action to be taken. General. Obtaining high marks in your assignment does not guarantee high marks in the examinations. You now have to make sure you know the content of the assignment and other information from the study guide very well to do well in the coming examination. Make sure you have all the information you get from the contact sessions and the feedback of the assignments. You will find very useful. You will find very important and useful information through these. Please study hard for the upcoming examination to be successful. If you need my help on something, contact me on my email address below. If you state what you do not understand or ask a question, I can give you a well-constructed answer. I also have a document with important information extracted from the English Handbook and Study Guide, which you will be able to use. I can also send information via WhatsApp on your cell phone. Always state your name and surname and which course, TJPE, DPPE, BESP or DES, that you are doing, please. I wish you all the best. Rita Davids.